While lithium is a part of this new golden age, in this video I will discuss another one, the Black Dawn of Graphene. Remember in my WKRP video about Carlson running for office? And in the debate he had a cup of pencils in front of him. That the pencils represented graphene? Over the past few years, I have had time to think about my past and notice that God has shown me some things about this world and the future. I put some of these ideas into my Spiritual World series. Well, what I am about to tell you belongs in that series, but since it relates to graphene, I will share it here. You see, in grade school, kids aren't always nice to each other. Sometimes kiddos fight over whatever. Well, during grade school, I managed to get stabbed with a pencil a couple of times in 2 separate events. Now here's the crazy part. Where I got stabbed would foreshadow future events, biblical events. Of course, as a kid, I wouldn't understand that then. One of those places I got stabbed was on the palm of my right hand, the area where the Bible says the mark will go. In recent years, people believe that this is where the RFID chip would go. Thousands of people across the world volunteered to be chipped. The other area where I got stabbed was on my upper left arm. This part of the arm is a common place to get medically injected with stuff, shall we say. So what does this suggest? What was God showing me when I was a kid? The stab wounds of a pencil, graphene. It was symbolic. This tells me graphene will play a role in the mark of the beast. It tells me graphene will be injected. Maybe it had already begun in 2020. If you are wondering, the pencil lids were never removed. My dad didn't want to pay to have them removed. He said I would be okay. Anyway, what else about graphene? It was time to start looking into the subject a bit. Well, naturally I wanted to know if Texas had anything to do with graphene. Apparently there is a company based in Dallas that produces graphene products. It's called Graphene TX. Its products are coatings, carbon fiber composites, supercapacitors, Li-ion batteries, and engineering plastics like nylon 6.6. Li-ion batteries make me think of a lion animal. Then there is a 66 reference with their nylon product. But is that all? What is their vision? Well, we can see in the background of the image are a bunch of wind turbines. That's because they produce lightweight, cost-effective wind blades. They are an innovator in the decarbonization movement. The Green New Deal is just being relabeled as sustainable and resilient. A couple of words I hear a lot from officials these days. I couldn't help but notice on their applications page there's an image of a Tesla vehicle. Do you really think electric cars are going away? It also states that graphene has exceptional strength, electrical and thermal conductivity. Now, did you know there was a Graphene Council? In August 2024, they challenged the EPA. Apparently, the EPA had restrictions on graphene production. The council wanted a less restrictive business environment so it could compete better with other graphene producers in the world. In this article by the council, it states that graphene can be manufactured for composites, batteries, electronics, healthcare, and construction. It also states that graphene has numerous defense applications. They even cite the CHIPS and Science Act that classifies graphene as a strategic material. This article also mentions Executive Order 14057 in regards to clean energy industries, signed by Biden. One of the executive orders that Trump revoked was 14057. Does this mean graphene is going away? No. Now that Trump has a new person heading up the EPA, there will be no more restrictions. The Graphene Council's goals are full steam ahead. Graphene is not going away. There are many products being made now. Remember in a previous video I brought up the Falcon subject? Well, the radiators for the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket are made from graphene. You think Elon wants to stop graphene production? Not a chance. There's now a company called Falcon that makes graphene auto parts, like brakes and, yes, wheel rims. They are providing an alternative to aluminum rims. Falcon Acoustics is now making speakers with graphene. Does that sound good to you? Well, there are studies showing that graphene can be toxic to living organisms and the environment. Maybe this part of the subject deserves more exploration. Remember in my video where I break down the Winter Soldier movie? They discuss being able to read a terrorist's DNA. I said there would be people injected with nanotech and those who would not be. That they would be able to distinguish between the two. Well, nanoscale antenna systems do exist, used for wireless communications and biomedical applications. Now these nano antennas can be used for wearable devices, the Internet of Things applications, millimeter waves, terahertz communication systems, and more. It can be used for the biomedical field. Nano antennas integrated with implantable medical devices and biosensor platforms. In the article, it mentions the Internet of Things. Well, after people are injected with nanotech, they will become a part of the Internet of Things. That's what 6G is for, as indicated by this Brown research article. Brown researchers developed chip network to transmit and receive complex data. Also note it talks about terahertz communication systems. In this wiki article about graphene antennas, it states that the choice of graphene as the basis for nano antennas was due to its behavior with electrons. Electricity can move faster through graphene than a metal conductor. It would make a better replacement for metal antennas. Because of graphene's properties, it can operate at the lower end of the terahertz frequencies. So yes, graphene will be used in the biomedical field. These graphene biosensor platforms can be attached to biomolecules, antibodies, DNA, and enzymes. Yes, that's right, DNA. Don't fall asleep yet. I know this is probably a boring subject, but what else about graphene? Since graphene makes for a better nano antenna and can be attached to biosensors, there are other applications also. They are as follows: industrial process control, the military, environmental monitoring, healthcare, microbiology, and food quality control. Yes, food quality control. They will be putting this stuff into the food for better accounting, I guess. They will then be able to monitor when a food item spoils or goes bad. Environmental monitoring. Well, as this stuff gets sprayed over everything from the sky or wherever, they will be able to monitor environmental changes, like if someone chops down a tree, or maybe if there is an unauthorized change in a water system, like a lake or river. And of course, they always gotta throw in military applications. It's a great way to get funding and use. Now here's an article I found very interesting considering current events. It's called Graphene-Based Nano Antennas May Enable Cooperating Smart Dust Swarms. They write, smart dust, utility fog, programmable matter, gray and blue goo, cooperating swarms of micron-sized devices. Utility fog. There's been a lot of stories about fog lately, hasn't there? However, the people writing this equated the utility fog to smart dust, programmable matter, and a gray and blue goo. Now we are all aware of the black goo. Is this blue-gray goo something different? What color is this chemical fog people are experiencing? Are people being showered with smart dust or programmable matter? But that's not all in this article. Georgia Tech researchers have come up with a plasmonic graphene nano antenna that can better use millimeter radio wavelengths, better connecting this smart dust, the fog, the swarm, to the cell towers, the 5-7 frequency towers. Well, there is more to discuss in regards to graphene. so I will go ahead and make a part 2. The next part will cover some predictive programming and Egypt. Thanks for watching. Hold on to Jesus that He may carry us through this.